Chapter 14. Peripheral nervous system. Talk about it. Okay. Okay. So PNS is functionally divided into the sensory perception division and the motor output division, the actual like reaction division. Okay. So let's okay. The autonomic nervous system, the general visceral part, so internal organs, visceral motor system is the autonomic nervous system, and that's divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic, and that we will cover in another chapter. Okay, so for now we're looking at mostly the somatic nervous system, okay, and the somatic sensory nervous system. Okay. All right. So the sensory receptors, okay, pick up stimuli from inside or outside the body. So what I want. Oh. Okay. What what I want you guys to make sure you guys understand, okay, is we can classify sensory receptors according to the location and the type of stimulus detected and the structure. The ones that I want you to focus on are the location and the type of stimulus detected. Okay, not so much the structure. Okay, so classification by location. External receptors receive signals from outside the body. Okay, internal receptors receive stimuli from internal. Okay, so the digestive tube, the bladder, the lungs. Okay, and then the last type is the proprioceptors. Proprioceptors are in the muscles, the skeletal muscles, the tendons, the joints, the ligaments, and what they measure, okay, is stretch, how like pulled out that receptor is and stuff like that. Okay. Okay. The other way I want you guys to understand what receptors are by the type of stimulus detected. Okay. Mechanoreceptors. Okay. All proprioceptors are mechanoreceptors. Okay. Mechanoreceptors respond to touch, anything that changes the mechanics of an object. Okay. So touch, pressure, stretch, vibration. Okay. In particular, a subset of mechanoreceptors are baroreceptors. Baroreceptors monitor pressure. That's what baro actually means. Barometers measure pressure. So baroreceptors measure pressure. When you put this in a tube, it measures blood pressure. Okay, so baroreceptors. Thermoreceptors respond to temperature changes. So you take your hand, you put in cold water, you feel cold. Okay, that's thermal receptor change. We're not putting in ice water. Ice water is something else. Ice water, you feel pain. Okay, so cold water, you feel change in temperature. Okay, chemoreceptors respond to chemicals in the solution. Okay, so taste is a chemoreceptor. Smell is a chemoreceptor. The amount of calcium in your bloodstream is a chemoreceptor. The amount of glucose in your bloodstream is a chemoreceptor. Okay, photoreceptors respond to light and they're located in the eye. Okay, no, those receptors, okay, respond to are pain receptors. They respond to stimulus that causes pain. Okay. Structure, we'll skip. Okay. So moving forward, the cranial nerves. Okay, cranial nerves attach to the brain and pass through the specific foramen of skin, skull. Okay, they're numbered 1 through 12. Okay, cranial nerve number 1 and 2 attached to the forebrain. All the rest of them attached to the brainstem. Okay, cranial nerve number 10 is called the vagus nerve, and vagus nerve is the only cranial nerve that does not serve the head or neck. Okay, it goes down to the body and serves the chest and then the abdominal viscera. Okay, the name for it is vagus. Vagus literally means wandering. It wanders away from the head and neck and down to the body. Okay. All right. So make sure you guys understand this slide right here. Okay. Okay. And this one as well. Okay. All right. So let's go over each. Ow, cranial nerves. I just popped my shoulder. That hurt. Okay. The first one is the olfactory nerve. The olfactory nerve is your sense of smell. Okay. Olfactory smell. Cranial nerve 1. And again, you guys lost point for this on the test, so I'm gonna do this again. You guys gotta name the nerves with the correct Roman numerals. Okay. Okay. So here's a craniform foramen, right? So you have to remember that from the skull. This is actually cranial nerve number 1, and you can see it passes through the olfactory bulb. Okay, go through there and signals. Okay, the human olfactory bulb is not very big. If you watch the video on brain dissection, the sheep olfactory bulb is huge compared to the human one because sheep are highly dependent on their sense of smell. Okay, cranial nerve number 2 is the optic nerve. The optic nerve originates from the eye, okay, and goes to the brain. The optic nerve is the only nerve that crisscrosses in the middle. Okay, the reason, okay, is that you want everything from your left side to end up here, and everything from the right side to end up there. But if you close, so you receive the blue information from both eyes, and so the blue one from this side has to cross over to the other side. The red one from this eye has to cross over to the other side. Okay, the fibers have to partially cross over, which is why there's an optic chiasm. Okay, all right, hopefully you guys understand this. All right, the oculomotor nerves, cranial nerve number 3, okay, controls eye movement, not vision, eye movement, the actual eye movement of the eye. It also helps constrict the pupil and the shape of the lens, which we'll talk about in another chapter when we actually talk about special senses in the eyes. Okay. Cranial nerve number 4, the trochlear nerve, the same thing. It innervates a muscle called the superior oblique. Trochlear means pulley, and you can see this controls this little pulley. Okay, trochlear nerve controls one of the muscles that move the eye. As far as muscles that move the eye, I just want you to know they move the eye. Like the actual muscle, not so relevant. Okay. Okay. All the first 4 muscles only have one major objective. Trigeminal is different. Okay. Trigeminal nerve has both a motor and a sensory function to it. Okay. So, okay. The mixed nerve is a general sensory nerve of the face for touch, temperature, pain. So sensory perception of the face, okay? The motor division of the trigeminal nerve is the muscles of mastication, okay? Chewing muscles, okay? Cranial nerve number 6 is the abducens. It abducts the eyeball. Okay, so another nerve that controls vision, or not vision, eye movement. Okay. Cranial nerve number 7. Okay, the facial nerve also has multiple functions. Okay, the sensory function is taste to the anterior 2/3 of the tongue. The motor function is the muscles of the face. Okay. Okay, you're not responsible for 5 branches of the facial nerve. You're not responsible for 3 branches of the trigeminal. Okay. Cranial nerve number 8 is the vestibular cochlear nerve. Okay, vestibular cochlear. Cochlear is hearing, vestibular is balance. So it controls both your equilibrium and your hearing. Okay. All right. Cranial nerve number 9, glossopharyngeal. Glossal means tongue, pharyngeal means pharynx. The sensory perception of the glossopharyngeal is taste in the posterior 1/3 of the mouth, tongue. The motor function of the trigeminal is the salivary gland and the pharynx. Okay, aids the pharynx in swallowing. Okay, okay. Cranial nerve number 10, okay, is the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve has sensory functions all over the place. Like I said, it's the only one that leaves the head. Okay, so general sensory for the thoracic and abdominal viscera, so heart, okay, lungs, stomach, okay. It has taste buds on the epiglottis, but that's not really that important. Okay, the motor functions, the somatic motor functions, the muscles, the pharynx, the larynx. Okay. Okay, the visceral motor function, it provides, and this is actually the most important thing, it provides the parasympathetic innervation to heart, lungs, and abdomen. Okay. Okay. Cranial nerve number 11 is the accessory nerve. The accessory nerve controls the sternocleidomastoid and the trapezius. Last but not least, hypoglossal. Hypoglossal is the muscles of the tongue. All right, now I'm going to show you guys some little tricks to remember all the cranial nerves. Okay, all right. So 2 mnemonics. Okay, this mnemonic is for the names. So O. Okay, so olfactory, optic, oculomotor, trochlear, trigeminal, abducens, facial, vestibular cochlear, glossopharyngeal, vagus, accessory, hypoglossal. Okay. So this is a mnemonic to remember the actual names. Okay, the mnemonic for function. Okay, some say marry money, but my brother had this very. Okay, so the way this mnemonic works, you either have an S, an M, or a B. Okay, S is sensory only. M is motor only. B is equal to both. Okay, so sensory, motor, or both. Okay, so first one is going to be the olfactory, so that's going to be sensory only. Second one, optic, so sensory only. Okay, oculomotor is motor only. The trigeminal, we'll get forward to trigeminal, both. For those that say both, I will ask you for either the sensory or motor function, and you will have to provide me with either the sensory or the motor function. Okay, so you have to know both of them. Okay, all right. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna teach you an X-rated mnemonic now. So if you don't want to listen to that, jump about 1 minute forward. Okay. So this is the normal one. Okay. Okay. The X-rated one, I'm gonna erase that and put in virgin girl vagina and hymen. Okay. So same mnemonic, same thing, just easier to remember. This mnemonic, we'll erase the last sentence as well. It's gonna be funnier. Okay. Again, it's the same mnemonic, you use the same way. Okay, so have fun with it. Again, either one works. The important thing is for you to remember this stuff. Okay. For me personally, the dirtier or funnier it is, the easier I remember. So, apply that how you want. All right.